Okay,
Hi, Your Honor.
morning. This is ticket 23 RO 02008. Got a ticket for failure to yield back on the 26th of March, about quarter after 2 in the morning, 11 Mile Road in Maple. Are you here to plead responsible, not responsible, or admit responsibility with an explanation?
Honestly, the officer that I worked with that day.
I asked you a question, ma'am. The answer is one of the three choices.
I'm honestly trying to take no responsibility because of what happened.
You raise your right hand, please, to take the oath. Officer, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
I swear.
I do.
The officer will testify first.
So I responded to an accident about 2 a.m. She had been going, I believe, eastbound 11 Mile, and a car that she hit was going westbound 11 Mile. And and she claimed it because of the vehicle's speed that she didn't have time to think, and that she just didn't. It just came out of nowhere. But Your Honor, I would have no problem dropping it down to impeding traffic.
Thank you, officer. Could I also make a comment, Your Honor?
Go ahead. You have the right to testify.
Everything he said is what was happening, except for the fact, too, that I did say that I did make my full stop, and that because they were speeding, when I had started my turn, they came so fast that if the light had been working and not just a flashing, which is what I'd like to request today because of the construction happening in that area right now, I think that it would be a safer environment during that time frame to have it be a working light, just because they would have maybe stopped if they were supposed to stop, or not been going as fast even.
Ms. Schwartz, you made a left turn in front of a moving car.
It was going faster than...
Then why did you get in front of it?
It wasn't where it was when I was making...
You had to see it coming. It's going the opposite direction from you.
I do math when I'm driving, and I knew the speed limit of that area is usually about 25. I assumed, and that was my fault.
Driving a car. You're not playing a pinball game, a video game.
Yeah, and trust me, my life flashed before my eyes, Your Honor. I'm not...
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
The other guy was speeding, and he had T-boned you at 35. If you had a passenger, they'd be dead.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I thought about it, too. If I was even just 3 seconds ahead, it would have been me, so...
Fraction of a second, depending on which way you're turning left in front of an oncoming car, it's going to be your passenger that gets hit.
Trust me, I understand. My stepdad just experienced the same problem, so I'm thinking about it even deeper than you understand. And I understand that is something that is still obviously something I have to be in control of my motor vehicle as well. I'm just asking if there's a way to consider that is all. And if not, I completely understand.
Okay. The bottom line here is when you're making a left,
Mm-hmm.
yield to everybody. Even if you're making a left on a light and the light turns red when you're out in the intersection and you go to complete your left, if you're hit by a guy that's running the red light, you're going to get the ticket. And it's not a legal technicality. The principle is not to get in front of moving cars. Now, this matter, the officer has made a motion to amend to impeding. You obviously don't object. This is a simple matter. The two sides agree. It's going to be. But the thing is that when you're driving a car, you're not going to be made safer by the rules. You have to keep yourself out of harm's way.
Your Honor, does impeding traffic have any points on your license?
Does not.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure and be aware. I appreciate you.
It has no Secretary of State points.
Okay. I'm not familiar with as much as I maybe should be with these things, so I appreciate your help.
Not being familiar with it is good.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a little nervous just because I respect and want to do what I can. The reason that I'm okay with that going any further than the impeding traffic is because I understand what these fees go towards as well and stuff. So I want to help the city as best as I can as well. And
This
do
is not
this.
a charity, Ms. Schwartz.
No, and do better to
The
drive.
bottom line is that what you did caused a crash.
Yeah, I
And
understand. I have a vehicle.
the fact that the other guy was doing something wrong too doesn't change anything.
I understand.
You've, even if, just bear in mind that you're sharing the road with people who have been drinking, who are on drugs, who don't give a hoot about anybody else. And you have to drive like people are out to get you, because some of them are. There are people who don't have a clue.
They didn't seem to care very much, so you're not wrong.
Well, even if there's times when two drivers have a crash, both of them are doing their best to do it right. Neither one wants to be in a crash, of course. And stuff happens sometimes. But the bottom line is that there's a whole lot of people that are driving like they don't care at all about what damage they do to anybody. And you have to watch out for them. You have to drive defensively.
And I apologize for getting emotional and also being so prevalent about not taking fault. I think it's because subconsciously they just kept yelling at me saying that as long as I said it was my fault, that it was fine. And it was the drivers that did that. So part of me feels that that's why I'm so aggressively saying the things of not feeling like it was my fault, because I had to remind myself that night. So I'm very sorry.
I was stopped trying to make a right turn off Woodward Avenue, and there was 2 or 3 cars making a right turn in front of me. We were stopped. We had been stopped for what I thought was a long time. And another driver came up behind us and hit us. And it was in the middle of the afternoon. For some reason, I was better than him. There's no reason for hitting somebody when there's light traffic and he just hit a stationary car. And I got out of the car and I went to the back and he said, "Gee, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to." I couldn't be mad at somebody that's that dumb. To hit a stationary object because you thought it might move. You know, that there's people that
Happened to my best friend too. There's so many things that have happened from my accident to now. There's been like 4 in my life, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm just so thankful they're alive. Like,
yeah, there's so many things that can go wrong in a crash. The stuff you have in the car becomes a projectile.
I know.
And
In my car, I had vent stuff in it.
yeah, in a severe crash, stuff that's in the trunk can end up in the passenger compartment.
It was.
And this whole thing is violent. When people are in a crash and they'll say, "I don't know how I got this bruise over here," because that's not where anything was. Your body moves faster than your mind can perceive. Stuff flies around faster. It's a tremendously violent force within the car. You might as well be a dice in a can that somebody's shaking before they throw the dice. And it's amazing how cars have now become so much safer than they used to be. But they're still dangerous. And there's research that shows there's people that aren't as concerned about a crash now because of the safety features and the advances in medicine. But I'm here to tell you that no doctor can put you back together again better than your mother. And this is one of those things where you just have to make sure that you protect yourself. And this is a good outcome. There's no points. Fine is $220, which is not a good outcome, of course. And do you need time to pay the ticket?
I would appreciate time to pay the ticket very, very much, Your Honor.
How much time do you need?
I'm working on trying to still get a car, and I'm working on trying to get a house right now. So whatever amount of time you give me, or if you give me multiple payments, I know someone mentioned that that's something that you guys offer.
I can go 30 days.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate your kindness and generosity.
Not really either.
Well, you can accept that you are kind and generous. That is something that you can. Thank you. And thank you. Thank you, officer. You as well. Is it okay if I leave?
Yes, you're good to go.
Thank you.